Hello, hello, hello. Can everybody hear us? Hello, hello.
Hello,
I'm
hello.
off to the side again. There we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Top Drives Q&A live stream. I'm Caleb. I'm the community coordinator on Top Drives.
Who am I? I'm Ben, the car manager on Top Drives, and I guess this would be the April edition of our.
This is the April edition of our Q&A, our monthly Q&A stream.
Yep.
We do this once every month. We're a little bit out of focus there. We got some technical issues.
Me. I mean, I always look out of focus, isn't it? More
I still keep getting static shocked in here. I did try to do some test, guys, I promise. That looks a little better. Yeah, that's alright. Oh, I got static shocked for that. So I hope it was worth it to see our lovely faces in full focus. Cool. We can hear you, that's always good.
Yeah.
Glad to hear there's no audio issues there. Cool. All right, yeah, so we're back at it with another Q&A live stream. I've got another lovely presentation, because as we know, I love my presentations.
You do like the presentation.
For our Q&A live stream. So, I'm sure we have a few regulars here, but just in case you haven't come along to one of these Q&A live streams before, the way this works is over on our Discord server, which is discord.gg/topdrives. Please come and join us there if you haven't already. When I announce the stream, I make us a little thread where I ask for your questions in Top Drives. You guys will give us the questions. We go through there, we pick our 5 favorites, and our 5 favorite questions. Each person who asks those wins a CF pack in-game for free. So there's some juicy stuff up for grabs there. But even if you don't get picked, we pick some other questions to take as some little extras, just in case we have time.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. And also, we've got a new segment now we've been testing out where we ask you a question, and we ask that, and our favourite answer to that question also wins some CF packs.
Yep.
So we'll get onto that in a little bit.
I think we've got some really good questions coming up, actually.
I think we have. Yeah.
Yep.
Did you have a look through?
I did have a look through. Yeah. So I think there's some really strong questions there.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, please keep asking them.
Yes.
We'll try and answer them as and when we can.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Top Drives is my all-time favourite game. Been playing since November 2021. Thank you, Callum Crookshank. That's so nice of you.
Thank you, Callum.
All right.
Good to hear.
Yeah. I am. Yes. I'm glad to hear that.
Micah just said, "What are the free packs?" Didn't understand.
Well, basically, so if we've picked your question from the Discord server, you have to ask it now in the specific thread underneath live stream questions. If we picked it, you will win a free CF pack, but only if we picked it. Yeah. For those specific 5 questions, and then we picked a couple other questions, but the top 5 are the ones that win a CF pack each. Yeah. So let's get into it with a couple examples here. Let's see our first CF pack winner and their question. So top 5 questions. Here we go. First one comes from Barezi. I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly.
I think that's correct.
Yeah. When could we expect the rest of the low rarity prize cars, e.g. AMC, Peugeot, Spade and Diamond? I think DeLorean is one of these as well.
Yeah.
We've got in the game. I think that's like an uncommon or something, because
it's not particularly quick.
No, it's not. Stainless steel body.
Yeah.
To be given out, or is there any reason why you're hesitant to award them? There are prize cars that are here for a long time and they still haven't been given out yet. So yeah, I think this is a good question, quite a valid concern.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've had a lot of new prize cars sort of join the game recently due to the frequency of the updates. We put out a lot of new cars. So yeah, we do have a situation on our hand where there are a lot of prize cars we haven't given out yet, and also a lot of prize cars to rerun at some point probably, because we've only
both are a problem.
Yes, which we are working to solve. And so specifically, you've asked about the low rarity prize cars, and I completely get why people want these, because there are some really, really cool cars in here, even if like in game they are not amazing. Like for sort of late game stuff and PvP and all this. Sort of thing.
The Austin prize cars, obviously, I think they're generally quite rare cars in the real world anyway. Yeah. So I can understand why people want them.
Exactly, and I want the DeLorean. I want a chance to get that because I love Back to the Future, like we always say. So yeah, I completely get it from a collector's standpoint, but we have to sort of balance, the needs and expectations of players, because for every player who does want to collect those cars, which I completely understand, there are people, who want their prize cars to be like good and competitively viable and like really good in that half. So, yeah, we are, I think, investigating ways to, try and get through them a bit more often. And we know that people do still want these lower rarity prize cars. We wouldn't put them in otherwise. It's just a matter of finding, I guess, avenues to...
Yeah, the right time and obviously the balance with performance against, rarity or, oddity or whatever.
Yeah, so. But don't worry on that one. We do hear you. We completely understand that you want to get your hands on some of these, and I do too. So I'm gonna push from within the team for that one specifically. But thank you very much for that one, Barezi. You've won yourself a free CF pack. I'll message you on Discord after the stream, and awesome. And get that over to you. All right, let's move on.
Next question.
What do we have next? From Chief Pack, they ask, how can it be that the SLR McLaren is claimed as British because it was built there, but cars such as the AC Mark 6 or the new Chrysler 300 Tourings are British as well, despite being manufactured in Germany or Canada? I was hoping you might be able to help out with this one.
So, I mean, the McLaren SLR, as I like to call it, as in built as a joint venture between, Mercedes and McLaren, and I believe Mercedes did the styling and kind of McLaren put it together. Mm-hmm. So we have to pick. We can only pick one country per car. Yeah. So we do struggle with some of these, but we usually try to pick the country that's most relevant or that's the most obvious one. Mm-hmm. In the case of the SLR, it was kind of McLaren who kind of put it together. You could buy it through a McLaren dealership as far directly from McLaren, I believe, as well as occasionally a Mercedes dealership. So here we kind of went for British. Yeah. In the case of the Chrysler, that was a really difficult one because the 300 Tourings were only available in parts of Europe and I believe Australia and New Zealand. Mm-hmm. So we have to go for a country that is kind of one of the most accurate ones. Mm-hmm. And they were kind of particularly built for the UK and European market. And then Australia was kind of a second kind of wave. So here we just went for UK because it's the simplest way to keep the car in game. Mm-hmm. And it's accurate because they were never sold in the US. Yeah. So although it is an American car by an American company, it's kind of a European sensitive version. Yeah. It's like if you were experiencing these cars, you would kind of have to be like not in America to I mean, if you want one in America, you've only got another 8 years or 9 years to wait before you can import one under the 25-year import rule. Mm-hmm. So I know to some people it doesn't make sense, but we always try to pick the most obvious country or the most the most closely related country where it's kind of split. So. Makes sense. There you go. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Chief Pack, for that one. That was quite an interesting explanation, actually. Yeah. I didn't know what that was going to be. And you've won a free CF. You have won a C free F pack. Free CF. Try saying that after. Something like that. Yes. Yeah. You've won one of those. So well done. Again, great question. After the stream. All right. Let's keep the ball rolling. Here we go. This one is from. Do you know what? I'm going to look at it on my laptop. Yeah. I think that's actually going to make it slightly easier. There's a lot of text there. Mm-hmm. You can't see it from here, but our camera is like separate from our computer here, so we have to lean in pretty far. So this one comes from NixMix96. That's a nice little rhyme. Yeah, that goes well. Hi. Have you considered applying the token system to any car whose stats are changed as part of an update? If not, could you please think about it? It's extremely frustrating to spend time and resources upgrading cars which are downgraded, even if only a little, to effectively make room for newer, better cars, e.g. Dodge Charger, Juiced, Dodge Challenger, SRT10, etc. It would be much fairer to apply the token system you implemented recently. For starters, I can totally see why you would want something like that. Again, the reason that we did sort of token correction and compensation in the first place was because car rarities changed, and that obviously changed the balancing of cars pretty drastically. We've only done it the once. I think it's fair to say we ran into a couple of teething issues, as we've said, so there's a lot to consider before we do it again. We did it based on rarity that time, and originally, although this I think is subject to change, we planned that we would do it whenever cars do change rarity in the future.
But I'm not outright confirming anything, so I don't think anything's been decided here, but we wouldn't necessarily have to be beholden to that. But the only thing that we do have to think about in that regard is, at least with if we do it when rarities change, there's a specific sort of like metric there. We can say, okay, the rarities change, this is a fair time to sort of redistribute and reset and put everything out in tokens. But if we're going to do it just because like a certain amount of cars have changed, it's a bit more like, when do we consider now is a fair time to do it because this car has been nerfed too much or buffed or something like that. So, from my perspective at the moment, it's fairest to keep it, at a time when everyone can expect. Yeah. Another thing as well is like, obviously it is a really, big deal to reset all players' garages, distribute those out as tokens, and then ask players to, respec their cars essentially. Yeah. Because it does not, it takes a very long time if you've got a large garage, and you have to be quite committed to that. So it's not something I don't think we'd want to be doing to people like all the time. Yeah. Because if you've taken a break for the game, for example, you might even miss out on it completely. Your tokens, could expire. These kinds of things. So it's not something that we can do lightly, just because a couple of cars have, gained or lost a little bit of like competitive value. Yeah. Although I will say I completely sympathise with the fact that if you have upgraded a car and you found suddenly that after a nerf that maybe it's not as useful as it was. But that can be something we consider going forward next time we do token compensation.
And kind of read the corrections part of that. Mm-hmm. At the moment, the current kind of policy is that obviously we'll make corrections. Yeah. Where things are wrong. Mm-hmm. But where possibly we've made a correction that's based on manufacturer data, and then say somebody comes up with a quicker time from a magazine or a website or whatever, we'll always review that. And where we feel it's appropriate that we should be sticking with manufacturer data to keep cars evenly balanced across all of the cars that are in the game. As in, my kind of point is that we're really trying not to trigger too many, harsh changes or changes that will upset players, because I'm aware that some of you have had cars for a long time that you've fully upgraded. So, and we appreciate the fact that you stick around and do that. Yeah, yeah. So, we're hoping we're not causing too many of these changes going forward.
Yeah, I guess it's like we always say, accuracy for the game is one of the most important things that we always focus on. But at the same time, we have to keep in mind the sort of game balance and economy too. And even when we do make those accuracy changes, can result in situations like this. So again, the issue is very much on the radar, and we understand. Yeah. But doing token compensation is not something we can just do lightly either, because of the drawbacks that come with that. Yeah. But that's thank you very much for that question, because that brought up quite a nuanced topic. I think it's quite an interesting one. Next Mix 96. Love that name. That's a CF pack for you. Thank you very much. Cool. Let's have a look at a couple of comments here before we move on to the next one. New Mount Fuji checkered flags format's a winner. Really enjoying it. Really glad to hear that.
Great stuff.
Yeah, that was something new we introduced just a couple of weeks ago, actually, with our sort of themed passes now. There's a couple of people talking about test tracks here. Actually, I do see a couple of people asking, so I do want to address this one. So when people are talking about test tracks, they're not talking about the ability to test your cars against yourself. They're not talking about like a practice mode or a training mode or anything like that. Yep. We've kind of said definitively in the past that we're probably not going to do something like that, because part of the appeal of the game is the game knowledge, learning your cars, and using those in a real world situation. I think what people are referring to here is the A/B test we did, the new first time user experience, right? Which in game was called Test Tracks, which gave out some rewards that were different to the standard new tutorial, the standard tutorial that was available for all players prior to that. I guess the important thing I want to stress here again, and as to whether or not it's going to come back again, this was an A/B test. Keyword being test. So we put that out there to gather some data, see how it was working for people. It wasn't a guarantee that that's how it's going to be forever, and that's also why it was an A/B test, and not everybody who signed up got it. Again, I don't know the results of it yet. I don't know if it's going to be coming back, what we're going to implement, what we're going to change. but with these kinds of things, you have to be aware that it is a test. We made that quite clear. Yeah. So I can't guarantee you that's coming back. Or, yeah.
Or not, I'm not sure.
Yes, yeah. Again, test. That's why we didn't talk too much about it, because we didn't want to get people really excited for something that might, change with these kinds of tests. So I hope that answers your question there. Let's take another one from our top 5 that we've got.
Let's do that.
Cool. Falagar. Sounds like a medieval, like, sorcerer or something.
Is that a character in Harry Potter?
Yeah, maybe. With the new update, a bunch of car pictures are renewed, which I believe enrich the game's visual content, as it's always nice to see new things. Would you consider to do it more frequently in following updates? Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
A man of few words. No, seriously, thank you for the kind words. We all worked really hard on this in terms of identifying the images, and obviously a lot of you voted on the
Top Drivers Club.
On Top Drivers Club on the worst images, so thank you for that. Please keep doing that. So obviously we want to improve the game in terms of its visual aspect and how it feels for all of you to make it to enrich your experience and make it all look as good as we can. So yeah, we'll keep trying to improve the imagery where we can and fix those perhaps images that aren't as correct as they should be. So obviously please keep reporting them, please keep voting on them, and then we'll keep looking at them to see what we can do to fix them.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but thank you for the feedback there.
Yeah.
Falagar?
Falagar. Yeah, we had some really nice responses, I think, from the last update. People were really happy with a lot of those car photos we changed, so I'm really glad that people are appreciating the work that's gone into that.
I was just like, I'm glad we got them right.
Yeah.
So we did lots of reviewing of those back and forth. So.
Yeah. So glad people are enjoying it, and hopefully look out for some more photo changes in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks Falagar. That's a CF pack for you. Well done. All right. Last of our top 5 questions. Actually, not last CF pack winner, because we've got the question we asked the community up there.
Yes.
But this one comes from Akari, who asks. We heard that sometime in the future there will be something changed with the clearance of cars. Would that change our low, medium, high into a more diverse mechanic, like clearance from 0.1 to 2.0? And if the number is high enough, you can go through bumps on city streets. So yeah, basically what is going to be happening at some point is a change to how ground clearance in the game works.
Yep.
So at the moment, like you said, we've got low, medium, and high, and that sort of like changes, if you can go on bumps, if you can do, I think it affects hill climb quite a lot. Yeah.
So on low cars, I believe on some of the city street tracks with speed humps, you end up with the DNF because you will finish, but you'll finish behind even though you may be ahead.
Yeah. It massively just like slows you down for like the few seconds that you take to get over that bump. So yeah, that's the way it works currently. The idea is going forward when we implement this, I think it's going to be a little bit more granular. The exact form that's going to take on, I don't know yet. I don't think it's going to be a number system like 0.1 to 2.0. I think we're just going to divide it up a bit more. Generally reconsolidate cars into a couple more categories than low, medium, and high, from what I hear.
I think our stream, the slides are still on the old question.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Sorry. It's because I've got it on my laptop too. Very confusing. Too much technology going on. There you go.
Yeah.
But yes. So where was I? Yeah, so we're going to reconsolidate it into, I think more categories is the idea at the moment. It's still a little bit of a ways off, unfortunately. Last I checked anyway, on the most recent roadmap, it was on the furthest out that we can put it. Obviously, it will be time for a new roadmap soon, so we'll catch up with the team and see how we're going.
Yep.
But I do think it's still going to be a while out, and therefore not everything about it is completely nailed down yet. But I think on the whole, what you can probably expect when it does come out is, more categories than low, medium, and high for ground clearance for those cars to go into.
Yeah. And
probably more, like, you'll be able to get more expected behaviour out of what happens when you hit bumps or hills or things like that.
As with everything with Top Drivers, we want to make it as realistic and immersive as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is what we're looking at the moment. And I believe we may well be on the previous slide again. So I think 7 is the one we want. There we go.
There we go. All right. There you go. Now you can have a read if you couldn't hear me properly. So I'm sorry about that. But yeah, that was a good question anyway. It's always interesting to look at what's coming ahead there. So thank you, Akari. Hope that answered your question about ground clearance.
And is that a pack winner?
That's a pack winner.
That's a pack winner.
That's our last question pack winner. But we're moving on to something else now. So yeah, thank you to those 5 for your excellent questions. You will receive your pack shortly after the stream, I would imagine. But I guess now it's time to move on to the question that we asked people, and actually we've answered ourselves. We've got a couple of answers in here, which
hours
was
to decide mine. Hours and hours and hours.
You're lying awake at night.
I was looking at all of the cars on the internet, so
you just couldn't do it. Yeah. But the question we asked was, what car would you take on a road trip across America? I thought, our latest update was American themed. Yeah. I went on an American road trip a couple of years ago, but I was in an RV, and it would have been potentially cooler to be in a cool car than that. So
you drove a house across America.
I drove a house across America.
Okay.
It was.
I like that.
It slept nice, but it didn't drive nice, and didn't really do anything else nice. So I thought I would live vicariously doing another American road trip and ask this question.
Yep.
We asked this. We've got a couple of winners and a couple of runners up too, who picked some really cool cars. But first of all, I think I've got Ben's car. So do you want to explain your answer?
So this is the BMW M5 V39, and this particular car is belongs to Alexander Roy, and he set the Cannonball record in 2006 in 21 hours and 4 minutes from New York to Los Angeles, non-stop.
That's pretty nuts.
And my reason for choosing this is simply because, well, if you're going to do an American road trip, you might as well do it as quickly as possible. And what better car to do it in than an E39 M5?
That's true.
6-speed manual, 400 horsepower, 4.9 litre V8 motor. Big boot, although this particular car has a fuel cell, a second fuel tank in the boot. So I'm not sure you can fit much in there, so you might have to send your luggage via DHL or whatever.
You wouldn't have to stop very often though.
But you don't have to stop 2, maybe 3 times from one side of the country to the other.
So seriously, like how fuel efficient it is, because that's pretty nuts.
I think it does about 20 mpg American. So yeah, I think it's about maybe 2.5 fill-ups on both fuel tanks to get the entire 2,800 mile distance from one coastline to the other.
That's fair enough. So you would just absolutely blast across America, no sightseeing, no fun allowed. Just get it done as quick as you can.
And obviously being careful.
I think I picked quite a different one then.
Yeah, I think you're a lot more relaxed than me.
Yeah. Well, I did pick like an interesting picture for it, but I picked a Porsche Cayenne because I thought I wanted to travel in comfort and style, and also go a little bit fast sometimes as well. Yeah. But also the fact that you can go off-roading like this, a lot of national parks, a lot of fun stuff like that. I want to be able to do a bit of that too. So I figured this kind of had the best of everything. Yeah. It's got a sunroof. I'm assuming it's got pretty good AC. I haven't been in one recently, but yeah. So that's my pick. I think it's fair, right? It's a good mix of everything.
I think that Cayenne is pretty much full send there as well.
Yeah.
In terms of off-road, are the front wheels off the ground?
They might. I think they are like just about still touching it.
I mean, I'm not sure if that is a real kind of angle going up that mountain, but that does look quite steep.
Yeah, okay. I don't think I'd be that ambitious with it.
When you get to the top, you can look at where you've just been.
Yeah.
See, that's what you do with road trips. You stop. Yeah,
just been there. That's great. All right, let's keep doing it. Yeah. So there you go. That's my answer.
That's very cool. Great choice.
Thank you.
You don't win a CF pack.
I don't win a CF pack, no. Unfortunately, I don't. I'm exempt from the competition. Neither do you, for that matter.
Damn it.
Yeah. But let's check out what people sent to us on Discord, because we've got a couple of interesting ones here. This is Chevrolet Corvette, a very yellow Chevrolet Corvette.
Yeah. I think it's quite cool.
Yeah. It's a sports car that is often one of the best. I think this might be machine translated, but it's all good. Corvette is characterised by high performance and high build quality. Would you agree?
Yes. I think they're really cool. I mean, they're not a car we get over here in Europe, but I know in America, I mean, it's an American icon, isn't it? Yeah. You're going to drive across America, you want to pick one of the icons.
You can't go wrong with a Corvette. Yeah.
So, I believe it's got quite decent boot space. Although you're travelling with you and one friend, there's only 2 seats in it.
Right, yeah.
Or alone. Or your dog.
Yeah.
So...
Well, you got extra luggage space, I suppose, if you're going alone.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, Nimbus 1999.
Yes, well done. That's a CF pack for you. Again, if
Great
you
choice.
send me a DM on Discord or I'll message you after this or something and we'll get you sorted out with that.
Yep.
Great choice, thank you very much. Next pack winner, Mr. Breadcrumb. I feel like we've had Mr. Breadcrumb at some point. I'm not sure. We might have answered a question from
I think we
previous
might have
stream.
seen this Acura before.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do we just keep falling prey to this Acura and thinking it looks...
I think it's
really
just
cool.
the Acura that keeps getting us. I think we call it a Honda Accord here in the UK.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
For American purposes, it's an Acura.
Yeah. But Mr. Breadcrumb says, my own Acura TL Type S, fast but not too flashy, 5 seats, practical, plenty of storage space, and has an aux port, so you can go back to physically passing the aux cord. I think that's an important part of any road trip, actually.
Yeah.
You don't want to be faffing around with Bluetooth on your phone,
No.
like trying to get some tunes on.
And if someone, you could bring your sort of 1990s grunge collection with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas someone else could turn up, I don't know, with the best of thrash metal.
Yeah.
Or something else entirely.
Do it on a portable CD player, so every time you hit a bump, it skips.
Yeah. Or you could bring, record player.
Yeah,
Put it in the middle of the rear seat, so that could be a bit, when you go around the corner and the needle skips.
That might not be great.
But I think it's, I really like this one because he wants to take his own car.
He does.
Of all the cars in the world he could have chosen,
He'd pick his own car.
His own car, and then he'd bring his friends, and then they'd all swap the aux port around, the aux cable even.
That's a man who's found happiness.
Yeah, and just be chilling to music while driving across the USA.
Heck no space. Some people are saying. Yeah, fair enough. I can understand. But Mr. Breadcrumb knows what he wants, and for that he wins a CF pack. So well done. All right, last one. He's going to win a CF pack here. It's General Platypus, which is a great username, by the way.
I think that is an awesome username.
Yeah.
Is he actually a platypus though?
I don't know. I'm going to have to
Can they
confirm
claim
that. Yeah, is that valid for redeeming CF packs?
Yeah.
I would use a Jeep Cherokee XJ, as it would allow me to camp out in some of the great national parks here in the USA. This is similar to my reasoning.
Yeah. Although, were you just going to drive straight through the national parks and not camp?
Yeah, I was gonna beeline it,
To
not
the
even
nearest
on
hotel.
roads. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Whereas General Platypus is just going to stop, camp, and literally take in the surroundings.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fantastic idea. And if I assume that's the actual. I don't know if it's his actual car.
I don't know if it's his car, but yeah, it'd be pretty cool if it was.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone that wants to undertake an American road trip without touching any paved roads,
Yeah,
I admire your bravery.
Yeah.
And
Can take you quite a while.
Can we come along, please?
Yeah.
So
We'll all go camping.
yeah,
Have a great time.
need a Wi-Fi router though.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think that's a fantastic idea.
Yeah. I love that one as well. That Jeep Cherokee just looks cool. Looks like a big unit. Like it's also, if you run into a zombie apocalypse halfway as well, I think it's a good zombie apocalypse car. So
run to a national park. There you go. That'll
and
do
you're
it.
sorted. You're fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So thank you, General Platypus. That is a CF pack for you. So that was our top winners there. But we've got a couple of honourable mentions that people showed off in Discord that I wanna run through as well. So we'll take a quick look through these. Akari again.
Yep.
If I had to take one car on a trip through the whole USA, we'd take a fast, comfy car that has enough space inside to hide all the souvenirs. So Mercedes S6 AMG.
Yep.
Pretty good shout.
Great choice. V8,
Mm-hmm.
long wheelbase. So when you're not driving, you can stretch out in the back.
Yeah.
Super comfy. I mean, that one looks a bit low. I'm not sure I'd take that one.
Yeah.
I'll take a one with a regular ride height, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. There we go, talking about ground clearance again.
Yeah. Or you can get a driver to drive you while you stretch out in the back and watch the scenery.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah.
Next, we've got from the Majestic 42. If the Tarkus is going across America, I'd do it in the most American way in a fat pickup Ford F-150 Raptor R. Great name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'd cross it in a straight line going through wherever I am, faced from desert swamps. Who said I need to use roads in the first place? That's what I was saying about that Jeep as well.
Yeah.
Just beeline it across the country.
I mean, it's the right truck for the job.
Yeah.
And it's a very American truck. I mean, it's a vast pickup truck with a V8 engine.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get much more American than that, I don't think.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of just starting a line and facing a certain direction and going, well, whatever I drive over is whatever I drive over.
Yeah.
Unless it's someone's house, don't do that. Or maybe swimming pools or lakes, don't try and drive through them either.
Yeah, not a great idea.
Have to turn around those.
Yeah.
But no, I like the spirit of adventure.
Yeah, more or less a beeline straight through the country, which I think is pretty good. So thank you for that one. Putrid Crab Bucket. What a name!
That is a name.
What a name!
That is.
Wow.
That is a
Maybe
great
I should have
name.
given you a pack just for that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But, anyway, they picked. Personally, I would love to take an E39 generation M5 along the PCH and California coast. What better combination of power, performance, comfort, looks, and classic refined styling is out there? The muscly S62 V8, the clean lines, comfortable ride, all come together to create possibly the most perfect sports sedan to come out in Germany. That's it's a pretty bold claim, but
I mean, I've got an E39, but I haven't got the V8. I've got a 6-cylinder. Sorry, I couldn't afford the V8 when I bought my 6 one.
yeah.
And yeah, it's a great car, classic looks, understated. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great car to road trip in. So
Good choice. Good choice. All right. 2000 Nissan Skyline GT25 TMPD, funnily enough, has not picked that car, despite that being their username.
Yeah, I was about to say that's not one of those.
But they say, drive across America, you say, well, what about take... I like how people are being theatrical about this.
Yeah.
If you want a chance of getting on the stream, post it like this instead of just dropping an image. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what better to take on a road trip than this rebadged Holden Commodore? The Chevrolet SS features a big block 6.2 litre LS3 V8 pumping out 415 horsepower and 415 pound of torque. Yeah, you also get an excellent stereo. That's a very important part.
Yeah.
Great air conditioning, also very important. Plush leather seats. I guess if the air conditioning's good, it's all right. You won't stick to them.
Yeah.
Really though, why else would you buy an SS outside of the hulking V8? 0-60 in 4.5 seconds and top speed, electronically limited to 160 miles an hour, made this comfortable saloon one quick beast. Oh, and its rear-wheel drive powertrain meant that it could and would smoke up its tyres when you gave it the beans. That is a great, great phrase. The Americans know best when it comes to fun rear-wheel drive muscle cars, but sometimes Australians know better.
Yeah, I think that's a fantastic choice.
Yeah.
I think you might have to stop for fuel quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But then, fuel's cheap in the US.
Yeah.
So, no, and I thought the Chevy SS was possibly either a cop car or a rental car. I'm not really sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think it's a great way to, if you're gonna cross America, you want to do it in an American car.
Yeah, yeah.
So I know we just recommended German cars,
but yeah, and I picked an Italian car, so yeah. All right.
Yeah. Oh, Nick Bryce has just said it's a sleeper,
Mm.
and he's very happy with chosen SS. Yeah.
Hello, where is Dimitri? I'm not sure, Dimitri M. Perhaps you should ask yourself.
Who is this Dimitri you speak of?
Yeah, I don't know.
I've never heard of him.
Some guy who used to come on these streams, I think.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
it's a fuzzy memory. I'm not sure. But yeah, what else we got here?
Fantastic choice there.
Oh yeah, just a vintage Mustang. It just looks right for an American road trip.
Yeah.
I think.
I think that is fantastic. I mean, it's got a stripe on it.
Yeah, means it goes fast.
Yeah, and it adds 5 horsepower,
Mm,
maybe
yeah.
more horsepower, I don't know. But no, chrome finish rims. That one looks like it might have a roll cage.
Mm.
I think it's a GT350. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Just by looking at a tiny photo. So yeah, I think that would be a fantastic way.
Yeah, that's
Although you better have your AAA colour.
yeah, because
Breakdown colour for people not in America.
you don't want that happening in the middle of the Nevada desert. So
No.
But I admire the choice anyway. And I think, that's it for our list of cars that people submitted, what you would take on a road trip across America. So thank you very much for everyone submitted there. Congrats again to our 3 winners there. And if you didn't win, look out for next month's question and see if you can there. But in the meantime, back to Top Drives related questions. We do have a couple of other runner-up questions that we're going to go through quickly. Then if we've got some time after that, take a couple from the chat. So let's have a quick look. So these ones won't be winning CF packs, unfortunately, but I did think I'll answer them anyway.
Yeah.
So First one comes from Bodyboarder03. Any chance to bring back prize car reruns? It's been a long time since the last one. There are quite a few older prize cars that would be great to have a chance at acquiring. Yeah, so we did briefly touch on this earlier, and we have spoken about it in a couple of previous streams. We are aware that there are a lot of prize cars we've only ever given out once, and it's unfair to assume that everybody would have had a chance at getting those. Your garage would have improved, and maybe you wouldn't have been around on a certain tri-series or something. So yeah, but like we said before, we're at a bit of a crossroads with prize cars at the moment, because we've added so many to the game recently. There's quite a few that we still haven't given out.
Yep.
But yeah, obviously we know there are a lot that are really highly sought after, that we've run in the past that people definitely want us to run again.
Yeah.
So it's something we are looking into. We will eventually find a way to, I think, kind of up it.
We'll keep working on it.
We'll keep working on it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're aware that there's people that want the older prize cars because they weren't here when they happened, or they weren't able to win them at that time.
Yeah.
So I can understand that, as well as wanting to get all of the prize cars.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll keep working on that.
Yeah, thank you, Bodyboarder03, for that question. This is from Mushkatla, I believe, who asks, when will this car get fixed? 4 years now. It's definitely not 4 seats, and it's definitely not weighing over 1.6 tons. You know about this one? Can you fact check that?
I have seen it, so I'll have a look into it. Because off the top of my head, given that I look at a lot of cars,
yes,
I am familiar with this car. I'm aware that it exists, obviously. So I'll look into it.
Okay, well there you go.
See what we can do. It may, so regarding corrections, sometimes obviously we have a limited amount of time, limited resource to put into corrections. We try our best, and we'll keep trying. But obviously when we make corrections, we have to review them and make sure the data is correct, or why the correction has arisen. That obviously takes time, and we want to make the game as accurate as possible.
Of course.
I will look into this one, I promise.
There you go.
I will message you on Discord.
And say we fixed it.
Yeah.
We fixed the car. All right, well, there you go. But yes, thank you for that question. What else we got in here?
Great question, by the way.
Yeah. From Black Dog. I thought this was interesting. I wanted to put it in and just briefly ponder the idea. Will you ever add more than 2 cars to race at the same time?
I mean,
I'm going to assume no.
Sometimes it's always been 2-car racing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there are no plans for it at all.
No.
There's nothing on the roadmap. I don't actually know if it's been considered before, but I do think it's a relatively interesting idea. Although I think it would be a massive undertaking to get all these interactions at the same time, with like 4 cars, for example, if we were to do that.
And Top Drives must be one of the few racing games that offers, as in, one direct opponent.
Yeah, I think that is actually,
which is, I think, one of our greatest, selling points.
I think that is an important thing about it, the fact that, I guess if you're playing clubs, there's sort of a team aspect, but in every other aspect of the game, it's you versus one other opponent, which I think is quite a cool thing about it.
I think most other titles don't offer like a one-to-one kind of racing experience.
Yeah. So it's kind of a big thing, but an interesting idea. I will say, but not really something that's in the pipeline. Yeah. It's cool. Thank you for that question. Next up, from Morten, who asks another question regarding the latest update. When you nerf or change cars in our garage, like for instance the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat RQ76 or the Jaguar F-Type AWD I'm not even sure what that's short for.
Convertible.
Oh, convertible. Yeah, I probably should have known that. RQ79 now. The best upgrade way for them changes from 332 to 233. With the update, we wasted an Epic and 15 fuses. We had no way of knowing this was going to happen. Any ideas of compensation or a way we can redo the upgrades? So again, we sort of touched on this earlier a little bit when we talked about token compensation.
Yeah.
So if you weren't aware of token compensation, which sounds like maybe you weren't playing when that happened, That was something we did coming up to a year ago now, nearly, maybe a little bit less than that.
15.0.
Yeah, 15.0. Yeah. Where we actually did, change the rarity of a bunch of cars. We reset everybody's cars, and you got tokens that you could use to sort of re-upgrade them and respec them as and when you like. Obviously, what's happened with your car here is similar to that question we got asked earlier, where there hasn't been a rarity change, but the RQ change has obviously changed, how you would ideally want to spec that car. So I can understand, again, that it will be quite frustrating that, you had a car that was really useful and spec'd perfectly, and now it isn't. So again, wait until, the next round of token compensation, which I can't confirm when it is, or if it's going to work the same as last time. But again, we are aware that, changes happen, cars become less useful. You want to, be able to upgrade them in a different fashion. So there will be an opportunity to do that at some point.
And regarding these two cars, the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat and the Jaguar F-Type all-wheel drive convertible. So I believe that's Jaguar F-Type R all-wheel drive convertible. So both these cars were corrected because they were wrong.
Yeah.
Either they had a problem with the 0 to 60, or in the Charger, the case of the Charger Hellcat, I believe it was the top speed, because we wanted the car to have a certain pack. Gives it a limited top speed.
Yeah.
The Jag, I've been fortunate enough to drive one of those, and I was able to liaise with Jaguar directly to say, what do you think of these benchmark times that I set, and then we kind of were able to work out that they were actually the current data, the data the car had before was inaccurate.
Yeah.
So while I can understand the frustration that you've already, modified a car in game and now it's changed slightly, but these cars are now correct.
Yeah.
So they won't be changing again.
Yeah. So that's good for those specific cars. But obviously, like, this issue could be run into again. Kind of like how we talked about earlier. There's a balance to be struck.
I guess we'll keep looking at it.
Yep. Yeah. So, and as for actually respecing those cars, again, I can't tell you when or the specifics, but eventually there most likely will be an opportunity to re-upgrade those if we do have a conversation again at some point. So yes, thank you for that. And I think we've got one more question that I picked out here. Here we go. This comes from the Ronettes, who asks, what is the progression of the physics change? I think that's a fair question. It's been something that's been on the roadmap for quite a while.
Yep.
We basically are planning at some point to release a change to the car physics that will make the cars in the game behave closer to how you would expect they would in real life, adding to the realism and the accuracy and all that good stuff. Now, originally, this was actually a little bit further down the roadmap, our most recent roadmap. We had to push it back quite far. There's a couple of things that ended up taking priority over this. So, to be honest with you, it's still pretty far off from what I understand. I will be putting out another community roadmap soon that will give like a full update on all the features that we've set are in development and where they're at. But I haven't heard anything on physics change in quite a while. So I think it's still pretty far out, unfortunately. I know people are quite excited for that one, but make sure we're getting it right.
Yeah.
Gonna have to wait a while for that. But yeah, that's all the questions that I picked out there. So
all great.
All great. Yeah. Thank you very much for everyone who submitted a question. Again, you lucky winners out there will be getting yourself a CF pack. I will sort that out after the stream. But I think we've got a couple more minutes here, so we'll take a couple of questions from the chat for a few minutes before we head off.
Yeah.
Cool. I think. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, Ben's got the chat open here, so we can see if there are any that jump out here.
So one from was that?
They don't play the games. They don't. They have no idea why is the problem. We do. We just told you why.
Yeah.
What we got here?
I zoomed in too much. Is what I've done.
Yes, playing your own game is key. I see a decent amount of visual glitches. Hope Team Hutch is playing the game like we do. Yeah, we do. Plenty of players, plenty of our team members play the game lots. We're always pointing out stuff like that. And on the topic of those visual glitches, I actually did gather a load of them on Discord the other day. I started a thread to collect those all up. So,
Cool.
yeah, those are being worked on as we speak. What else we got here? How long have we been streaming for? I'm in Mauritius this week. I'm not even sure what that is. Mauritius?
Mauritius, yeah.
Yeah, this week time is messed up. We're coming to the end, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Could it be possible to add more real-life tracks like the Nürburgring? I think we'd certainly like to.
Yeah, again, it's all down to licensing, because obviously maybe not obviously, but every racetrack in the world is owned by somebody in terms of the way it looks, and the layout and everything else. So we're always trying to license the best tracks, keep suggesting them on the Discord, and if they're great and we can get them, we will try and get them into the game.
Yep. Are you working on another extended challenge similar to the World Expo campaign? I haven't heard anything on that right now.
No.
Again, I think that the idea of another single player campaign was on our roadmap as well, but it's pretty far back if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So yeah, no real updates on that at the moment.
About Fords. Well, I say it's the Ford from earlier, so I guess it must be the Raptor R is the only fast Ford he'll drive. Only Ford he'll drive.
Mr. Breadcrumb is here. Hello, sort of new to these Q&As. We're one of the top 3 chosen for the road trip question. How do we get the CF? Just drop me a message on Discord, or I'll drop you a message on Discord after the stream, and I will tell you the steps there.
Yep.
Why can't you guys put a Toyota Supra in the game? It wouldn't be a Q&A stream.
That's somebody asking for a Toyota.
For somebody asking a Toyota.
We're always working on getting the best brands in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said that last time. Exactly the same.
Yeah.
And Nick Bryce has driven from Vegas to Oklahoma City in 21 hours straight. That is quite a long distance. That is a short amount of time, Nick.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've answered a good bunch of questions there.
Yeah.
So I think we may park it there for the day.
And we have one question. When will the World Expo updates end?
When will they end? Not out and out sure about that, to be honest, when we're going to stop calling them World Expo updates. Yeah, I think they are...
What's this space, basically?
Yeah, watch this space.
Yeah, as every update comes out.
Yeah.
Obviously. You know.
Cool.
But I think that's a great bunch of questions we've had today.
That was, yeah. Thank you for everyone who submitted a question. Congratulations again to our winners. Yep. Thank you for everyone who answered our question too about the road trip. That was fun to look through your picks there and discuss those. And yeah, I think that's going to about wrap it up. Yeah, as always, we do one of these Q&A streams once every month at the end of the month. We also do other streams, chat live streams. When a new update's coming out, we'll do an update preview live streams. Those are always fun, so if you don't come along to those, do come along to those, check those out. If you're not hanging out with us in Discord, please come join us, discord.gg/topdrives. You can ask us questions and all sorts of stuff in there and have a chat and all sorts of things like that. So, yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
See you later.